You want to build a chatbot for your website using Chatling.ai. Well, in this video, I'm going to break down step by step how you can do exactly that. So let's get started. The first thing is you want to make sure that you go to Chatling.ai and sign up for an account. Once you sign up for an account, you'll see an area that looks like this where you have all of your chatbots. So you can have multiple chatbots for different things and they can do different things for your website. In this case, let's just create a new chatbot by clicking on Create Chatbot. And now you'll see that we can start from scratch, create a basic AI chatbot, an e-commerce support chatbot, a basic lead generation chatbot, or lead generation plus AI. In this case, let's just start from scratch so that you can see the entire process from the ground up. So let's click on Start from Scratch. It will give it a name. In this case, I want to build a chatbot for my website called Dogs on Wheels. And this is going to be a website where people who have dogs, who have some type of disability, will be able to communicate with my website and get information about the type of wheelchair that they will need for their dog. So let's click on Create Chatbot, and now we're good to go. Now you'll see here that this changes slightly from the dashboard that we were on previously. You'll see here on the left-hand side, we have dashboard where you can see all your analytics on new conversations that people have with your chatbot, new contacts and leads from that chatbot if you're collecting information like email and names. You can also see here on the left-hand side analytics, so you can see top countries, unique users, top pages, and your AI credit usage. And then down here on the chatbot, you'll see the builder, which is where we're going to actually start building out our chatbot. Now, when we're inside of the builder, you'll notice on the left-hand side, we have 4 different options. You have blocks, variables, AI configuration, and then settings. Blocks is where you're actually going to be able to communicate with the person using your chatbot. So for example, we can send messages to the user that's interacting with our chatbot. We can also capture responses from that user who is interacting with our chatbot. And based off that response, we can have AI reply on our behalf, which is what the chatbot is intended to do. But before we actually get into this part, I want to go back here really quickly because I want to go into the knowledge base. Now, the knowledge base is going to be specific to your chatbot. And the reason why that you want to actually build out the knowledge base first before you go and build out the chatbot is you want to have the knowledge that AI needs to reference before you deploy your chatbot or start testing out your chatbot. If it doesn't have any type of knowledge, it doesn't have any information to reference from, then it's going to be harder for the chatbot to answer the questions that the people have who want to interact with your chatbot. So we're going to go to knowledge base here. And you can see here that I have no data sources added. I'm going to click on Add New. And now we're presented with different options. So website, sitemap, URL list, document, text, FAQ, Zoho. We have different options here that we can insert to our knowledge base. For this particular video, I'm just going to go into document and I'm going to just drag in a file that I already made called Dogs on Wheels. And this has basically all of the information about my website. So what you want to do is you want to grab your FAQs, you want to grab your website and just all the questions that you may think someone has and provide that information with the knowledge base. That way AI has more to reference from when people are asking specific questions. So I have my questions and answers here. I'm going to click on submit. You can see here it's processing the document and it says to please wait. Now it is done. Now if I go back here into my knowledge base, you'll see that I have one source and it says one is pending. Now we can click on new data source and add multiple sources, which is something that I would recommend that you do. But for this tutorial, I think we're good with just this one document. It's still pending, but we should be good to go to start actually building out our chatbot. So let's go back into the builder. You'll see here that we have a blank slate here. It just says start. And there's really nothing here for us to interact with. So what we want to do is go up here to the left-hand side where we go into the blocks. I'm going to go into blocks and then I'm going to just start off my particular chatbot with a message. Now you can start your chatbot with an image, an audio, video, and you can also send these things after the fact too. But for now, let's just have a message here that just welcomes the user. So I'm going to say, welcome to Dogs on Wheels. Before I can assist you, can you please provide us with your email and name so we can contact you after. Now, you'll see here that we have our message, and what I'm going to do is just drag this little arrow here. So that means that when someone interacts with the chatbot, this is the first thing that they're going to see. So that is the start trigger, and this is the first message. I asked them if they could provide me their email and their name. So how do we do that? So we're going to go back here into the blocks here, and you'll see where it says capture response. We have different things. We can do buttons, text, number, email, URL, day and time, phone, or form. In this case, I'm just going to drag in the form underneath this group 1, and then I'm going to set up my form so that I can collect this information that I'm asking for, right? So in the right-hand side here, I'm going to click on add field, and then I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to say email address because that's the field that I would like to collect first. I'm going to leave this on as required, and then I'm going to change the type to email. Okay, so that will allow me to actually get that person's email. Now, one thing to note here is when you are collecting information, you want to store that information in a variable. That way we can use it later. So we will just basically get this person's email and just store it to the contact email. I said I'm going to ask for the name too. So I'm just going to say full name. The type is going to be text. You don't need to change that, but we do need to change the variable. So let's see if they have it here. So contact name. Now, if you wanted to collect another field that wasn't here, for example, so let's say that you didn't have, there's something here that you didn't want, you could actually create custom variables. So custom variables, again, is a way to store information. So if you are asking for a particular thing, for example, like if you wanted to ask for a dog breed, maybe we can actually add this here. So let's say, can you please provide us with your email, name, and your dog's breed and dog's name? So now we are asking for two other pieces of information that would not be in this form capture response. But what we can do is click on add field. We can give it a label and we can say dog breed, and then we'll leave it as required. We'll leave it as text, but we actually need to create a new variable. So let's say that we want to store the dog breed in a variable. So I'll just say dog underscore breed. And you'll see here it says create dog breed. Now we have that variable here. I'm going to click on add field, and then I'm going to put dog name. And that will be the last piece of information that we're going to request. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do dog underscore name. Okay, so now that variable is saved. So now what happens is when someone comes to our website and they want to interact with our chatbot, this is the first thing that they're going to see. And this is the pieces of information that we are going to collect on behalf of our chatbot. Now that we have this information, let's actually add another text here, and then we'll actually add a variable that we collected, because remember, we stored this information inside of a variable. So let's add a variable here just by doing the curly brackets here, and then we can do so awesome, we'll say the contact name. Awesome contact name. We would love to help, and then we'll put dog name. All right, so it just makes it a little bit more personable, right? Versus like AI robot just talking to you. You're kind of just getting a bit more personal. You got the name, you got the dog's name. It just makes it a better experience for the user. So now what we're going to do is say, awesome contact name. We would love to help dog name. What is it that we can help you with? Okay, so that's the question that we want to know. We want to know, what do you need help with? Okay, now what I'll do is just drag this over like we did before. And now what happens is the order is they interact with the bot. This is the first thing they say. And then we get the email address, full name, dog breed, dog name. And then it's going to go into the next set of questions and answers. Okay, so now we're going to go back up here to blocks again. And what we're going to do is we are going to do capture response. Okay, so I'm going to drag this here. And this is basically going to be our capture response. So the person who's interacting with our chatbot is going to say, you know, I need a wheelchair for my dog because my dog's sick. And then the AI is going to reply back, right? So the capture text is basically the information that the person's going to reply with. And you see, if I click on this, we have required here. We could also do voice input, which is really nice because if there's someone who has a disability of their own and they can't type, you can actually do a voice input, which is nice. You can also save this information inside of a variable, which we are going to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to do user underscore question. Okay, so that is the question of the user. I'm just going to leave the minimal characters and maximal characters the same. And if you wanted to, you could do a quick reply as well. So if you just wanted to quickly reply to a message, you can do that. You can also do match intent, which is a really cool feature that allows you to basically, so if I go up here and I go to intents, you'll see here that we have no intents created. And if I click on learn more here, it'll bring us to the documentation to kind of explain what intents are. And intents are basically ways to say things. So for example, if the phrase is, where's my order? That's very similar to track my package, right? Basically allowing us to be like, we can categorize that particular, those phrases under one thing, which is order status. So you can have different intents for different ways people say things, which is really powerful and allows you to keep that conversation going no matter how that person is, you know, kind of conversating with the bot. But for now, what I'm going to do is just leave that off and I'm going to click on exit. And I'm just going to drag this here. That way we know that after this, it goes here. Under the capture text, I'm going to go back to blocks here and then do AI response. So what is going to happen at this point is when that person says, hey, like I need help, my dog is losing a leg or I lost 2 legs, I need a wheelchair for my dog, right? What's going to happen is it's going to capture that text and then the AI is going to reply to that response. So, and here it says response source. You'll see that we can choose from the knowledge base or an AI model, which gives you a bit more flexibility with a prompt or instructions. But in this case, I want to reference the knowledge base. I want our AI to reference the knowledge base based off all the questions and information, data sources that we provided it, and then reply to that person's query. So what I'm going to do is enter our variable here, because remember, if we go back to capture text, we stored that person's response and user question. So now we can actually use user question as the question for AI. So you know how you're talking to AI, we want that AI to know that that is the question we want them to reply to. So I'm just going to click on user question, and now we're pretty much good to go here. So we can do stream the response, which basically means that the chat is going to basically write out the AI response as it's thinking of it, which is a nice thing to have. So I'm going to keep that on. And I'm also just going to use global AI settings. You can change the model to different like Claude, Opus, Sonnet, Haiku, Gemini, or GPT like 4.0, which is, very popular. But for now, I'm just going to use global AI settings and then also use global AI settings for the language. You can also set it to auto or any other language that you may want to set it to. I'll leave it to auto for now. And that is pretty much all we need to do here. I'm going to exit out of here. And there's one thing that we have to do to complete this entire flow. This is a very simple bot, but a powerful one, because what happens now is we can actually reference our own bot, right? So group 3 here, which is, you can also rename these, by the way. So we can rename this to say AI response, right? And this could be more information, and this could be welcome message, right? But what's happening here is on the AI response, you see here, I'll delete this so I could do it again, but you'll see here that I have it referencing itself. So I'm dragging this to itself. What this means is after it responds to the question, the person can ask another question, and then it's just going to loop, right? You don't have to do it this way. You can add another, block here that will give more information, or, you can set it up however you want. But typically the flow is someone asks a question, AI responds, and then they ask another question, AI responds, and then it just keeps going back and forth. So now that's pretty much it. So now what we can do is we can click on publish, and I want to preview my bot. So I'm going to click on preview, and now we get to see this in action. So let's just say that I'm a customer, and now you can see here my first message, which is welcome message. Hey, welcome to Dogs on Wheels. Before I can assist you, can you please provide us with your name, your email name, and your dog's breed and dog's name so we can contact you after? Yeah, sure. So I'm going to give my email, and then I'm going to put my name here, and I'm going to say I do have a dog, and it's a border collie. So I'm going to put border collie, and his name is Ollie. So I'm going to click on submit. So now the chatbot is going to the next step, which is more information. So awesome, Jelani, which is my name. We would love to help Ollie. What is it that we can help you with, right? And then here is where you can say, hey, my dog is losing a leg. How can you guys help? And now it's going to reference everything that it has in this knowledge base, and it's going to answer this question, and the loop is going to continue. So, hey, I'm sorry to hear about Ollie's situation. We can help you by providing a custom fit wheelchair that can assist Ollie in regaining mobility and independence. Our wheelchairs are suitable for both temporary and permanent mobility challenges, and they could be customized to Ollie's specific needs. I recommend consulting with your vet to determine the best course of action, and feel free to reach out to us via phone, email, live chat for further assistance. Is there any specifics that I need to ask the vet to get the best fitting wheelchair? And now it's going to, again, reference its knowledge base. And you can see here it's looping. So this is the loop that I was talking about. So the loop is basically taking everything from the knowledge base and replying based off the question. And then if the knowledge base does not have an answer, you'll see the chatbot say, I do not have an answer. Now, if you want the AI to kind of think about something, then what you can do, so instead of doing stream, so you can have not found path. So essentially what you can do is if something is not found, you could actually reroute this somewhere else. Let's say that, for example, I said, hey, how much is a wheelchair? And the knowledge base says, hey, well, you need to go to your vet to get the specifications, and then we can quote you. But then the person says, well, I want to know prices. And then the bot says, well, I don't have a price for you. Then you can kind of reroute them to somewhere else by just adding additional blocks here and additional information. You can also do conditions. You can also add a ticket, for example. So let's say that the answer wasn't found. You can create a Zendesk ticket. So basically you can reach out to your support team to notify, or to reach out to this customer now to follow up with them and answer that question that they may have just by like linking it, right? So not found. I want to ping the Zendesk account. that we have on file and then have my support team reach out to this particular customer and get their question answered. So it's really powerful the way that you can use that functionality, which I would highly recommend doing, especially if you have a lot of visitors on your site. Now, there are other things that you can do outside of the send message and the capture response here. You can also do actions. So you can do an HTTP request. You can send an email directly from the bot. You can also set variables and triggered based on if a returning visitor or if they opened or went to a specific page, which is really nice. And also, as we talked about, the intent. So that is how you're able to create a chatbot inside of Chatling. Now, the last thing that I want to show you really quickly is how to actually embed this on your website. So what you do is you click on publish, make sure that it's all good to go. And then I'm going to go back to where we were previously by clicking on the back button. And you'll see here that we have different options like appearance. So before you embed your chatbot on your website, you want to make sure that it looks good, that it just matches all of your branding and styling. So you could change out the primary color, the text color, and also the chat icon color, as well as some other things like positionings and bot icon. So keep that in mind. But let's go back here really quickly. And then under integrations, you'll see it says website widget. And this is where we want to actually utilize the embed codes that Chatling gives us so that we can embed it on our website. So I'm going to click on website widget, and then you'll see here we have different types. So we can do floating chat, inline, or full screen. So depending on what you select, the code is going to slightly change. So keep that in mind. But for now, I'm just going to do floating chat. And what I'm going to do is copy the code, and I'm going to go to our website and add the code to your website's HTML. So what you need to do is paste the code in the head or body section of your website's HTML. And of course, if you face any issues, you can always reach out to the support team at support@chatling.ai. All right, but now that we have it, we will be able to utilize our chatbot. So I'm going to show you how to do this live. So I'm going to copy again the code just to make sure I have it. And then I'm going to go to one of my websites here. So this is my website. And what I'm going to do is just go into where I can add in that header tracking or footer tracking code. And I'm just going to paste that code that we got from Chatling into this area. And then I'm going to click on save. And then I'm just going to preview this to say, take a look at how it looks. And just confirm that the chatbot is there. And you can see here, and now it appears. So if I click on this, I can interact with it like we did in the preview. So I'm going to say, you see here, it says, hey, welcome to Dogs on Wheels. Before I can assist you, can you please provide us with your email, name, and your dog's breed and dog's name so we can contact you after. So let's say, yes, I'll put my email again, and then my name. My dog breed is a border collie, and his name is Ollie. Okay, let's click on submit. And now we'll see here, boom. Okay, so what is it that we can help you with? And we could say, I need a wheelchair. And then the bot is going to again reference the knowledge base, get information from the knowledge base, and then reply back with that response here. Awesome. So now it's working. So now if we go back into Chatling, and one last thing that we want to check is we want to check the contacts. So on a chatbot, just go to contacts, and we should see the contact there inside of our database so that we can either utilize this information to reach out to them via email or reach out to them via support like I was mentioning before. But now we have the contact information directly from our chatbot so that we can utilize these leads. So that is how you're able to create a really simple but powerful chatbot that you can put on your website with ease. So go to chatling.ai to sign up for your account to create your own chatbot just like we did in this video. I'll see you in the next one.